Welcome to Kids Are Chefs, where we prepare a great meal and a great topic. I'm Chef Graham, and with me today is
Chef Zach
and Chef Timothy.
And our special guest chef is Rhonda Hudson.
Thank you. I'm Rhonda Hudson from the Treasure Box School of Etiquette, and today our meal we're featuring chicken fajitas and broccoli. And our topic for today is dining etiquette for gentlemen. We'll be right back. How's it going?
coming good, coming good.
All right.
Chicken's coming up good.
It looks good. Now you're going to be doing both chicken and you're going to be doing the broccoli.
And the broccoli, yes.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Well, have you ever made chicken fajitas before?
Nope. We'll see how it goes.
But so far, so good. You're doing a great job. Just that. And so far, I think the water's almost ready. It's boiling well for our broccoli. So just a few more. Almost maybe a minute or so.
Yep.
Really good. And I think just a little more here.
Yeah,
and we should be good to go. And then we'll grill some veggies to put those in too.
Perfect.
Perfect.
When I stirred it, I got all the spices.
Chef Brown, Chef Timothy, how's it going? Our chicken.
It's going really good.
Looks really good.
Smells good.
Yeah, it does smell really good.
You can smell the spices.
Yes. Really good. And what you're doing, I think you're doing a great job. Just make sure that we get all the chicken, just kind of stir it around with your spatula. Make sure that it's nice and cooked well for our chicken fajitas so we can really enjoy them. So tell me, have you ever made chicken fajitas before, Timothy, Chef Timothy?
No.
No? Okay. You're doing a great job. What about you, Chef Brown?
Not really. Most of the time I get grilled chicken and I put it in a cheese quesadilla.
Nice. So, this one fajitas will be kind of close, so good job. And I love grilled chicken. Grilled chicken is really good for you. Yes. Good job. Excellent. And I just cheese.
Perfect. This looks delicious.
Thanks
so much.
I'm going to turn your angle this way.
Yes.
So that way as we continue. Nice cheese in there.
This is
Coming
good.
good. Coming good.
Alright.
Chicken's coming up good.
It looks good. I'm going to put it in a separate pan because you're going to actually get one.
Oh yeah, it's going to help chicken get that little piece. I'm sorry.
And we also have the edges too. Not sure.
Oh no, I'm good with
You good?
cheese.
Okay, sounds good.
That is what broccoli is though.
It's pretty. And now that we've finished our meal, grilled chicken fajitas and fresh broccoli, now we'll start our topic for dining etiquette for gentlemen. Okay, we're back, and our food looks amazing. Chef, you've done an excellent job. Excellent job. We're going to talk about some nice things for gentleman etiquette today. But before we get started, just our napkins. I just want to talk about our napkins. First thing we do is when the host comes, we place our napkins not like this, but we like to take them off the table at table level and fold them this way with our out the opening this way towards your knees and put it on our laps. Okay. Perfect. And we've already have our table set up and we're ready to eat and the food looks great. But before we get started, I just want to do one quick thing. As a gentleman, once you come to the table, what happens if a young lady's eating with us? We have to allow her to sit at the table as well. So today we're going to ask one of our ladies to come over and you'll actually help her into the chair and I'll just show you how to do it. We have a guest here, Trinity. And I want to ask you, Chef Graham, And Trinity's gonna come this way and stand by her chair. And what you wanna do is you're gonna pull her chair out for her. And Trinity, normally you will enter from the right. These chairs actually have a thing, you will enter from the right. So come in, let's have a seat. And then you will help her and just kind of scoot a little bit, help them scoot a little bit. Very good, thank you so much. So we'll have her come in. Thank you so much. Let's give him a hand for that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Trinity, for being our guest today. But normally that's how it works. If a young lady comes and you want to have her, help her into her chair, she'll actually turn this way and she'll sit and she'll actually turn this way to sit down to enter the table, which is great. So that way everybody's all nice and ready to eat. And our shoulders back and we're ready to eat. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and try some of this great food. It looks so good. So we're going to try it. And as we already have our fork on the left and our knives on the right. And of course, normally we have, I showed you like this before last time. If you hold your hands similar to this, if you just kind of hold your hands up like this and put your 3 fingers up and hold it, if you push out, you'll see the B is for bread is on this side and the D is for drinks is on that side. And we always say solids are on the left and all the liquids are on the right. So you'll remember that. So all our drinks are always going to be on the right side. Very good. So we'll just adjust those. Thank you so much. Okay, well, let's go ahead and have some. And this is a great place to start too. We're talking about there's different types of dining as well. And I know most of you already are ready to get started with our dining, but let me just share one thing with you before we even really get started. Have you heard of continental dining and American dining?
A little bit,
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But I'm going to let you guys go ahead and finish eating first, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds. Having lunch and dinner, especially with gentlemen also too, I have to think about it. There's so many ways that we can hold our knives and our forks, but I'm going to talk about just the basics from the beginning. We'll do topic 1. Topic 1, let's start with just greetings and introductions. We talked about at least coming to the table and preparing ourselves for the meal, but also what happens if you have to introduce someone, at the table, and you want to introduce someone and we're bringing new guests over to the table and having dinner. First things is I want to use our acronym called SMILE. SMILE is the acronym for introductions. And basically what you do with SMILE, I'm going to ask, I hate to actually get you up from the table, but I just want to kind of demonstrate it for you. If I stand up, SMILE, it says stand. You're going to introduce each other, put our back on our table. SMILE, lend a hand, introduce yourself, and lend the information. So I'm going to say, hi, my name is Miss Hudson.
Hi, I'm Graham Stewart.
Great, I'm so glad that you're here and I'm looking forward to this great meal. So just as simple as that.
Pretty simple.
Very simple. And I think you have some nice, just quick tips with SMILE. I just gave you some nice cards you can take with you for tips for later. Just remember, stand, make eye contact, introduce yourself, lend the information, and extend a hand. So just remember, that's with anywhere you go, to introduce yourself to anyone. And also just a quick tip also too, if you want to make an introduction to someone else, say if you're bringing a friend with you, say Timothy, Chef Timothy and Chef Graham, if you're introducing your teacher at school to a new friend, to Zach. So your first thing you want to do is definitely always introduce the person of most importance first. Say their name. So for instance, if you and Chef Timothy were introducing your teacher, Zach, who would you introduce first? Whose name would you say first?
Our teachers.
Your teacher's name. Very good. Excellent. So that would be Miss
Tellison.
Miss Tellison
And Miss Green.
and Miss Green. I'd like to introduce you to our new friend, Chef Zach. Chef Zach meets Miss Tellison and Miss Green. Was that easy?
Very easy.
Very easy. Good job.
So, how would you say, like, if you're going to tip somebody, but they're not good, like they're very rude, would you still tip them?
That's a good question. Excellent question. First of all, I think tipping is a way to let the staff know that they've done a great job, and especially for gentlemen. Gentlemen always want to give a good tip. The standard is 15 to 20%, and normally we would do 20%. However, if a person's not doing a great job, should we tip at all? That is the question. I think for etiquette purposes, I think you should. I think he still should give the person a 15% tip, because it's almost like if a person doesn't have great etiquette at a table, do you tell them that something's wrong? Of course not. You just continue to do what you're supposed to do. And that shows such a gentleman. Gentlemen always model good behavior. So in order to model good behavior, do we tip? Yes, we do. And then you may want to share some information with the server afterwards. You may want to say, maybe what the issue was, or what the dissatisfaction was with your meal. But definitely always tip and model good behavior.
Now, would you say if the service was not good and you still would leave a tip, should it be 15 or less, or?
I would still go that 15%.
15.
And then I still would share with the server your dissatisfaction or what's going on. As a gentleman, you definitely want to model good behavior, because that's what we do. And of course, share with them what was the issue, what was wrong. What do you think? Think that's a good idea?
Yeah, excellent idea.
And that way they don't feel like, oh, I did this great job, but at the same time you share what was wrong, because they may have just been an issue that they didn't know about.
Yeah.
So I think it's communication. Absolutely. Topic 2 I want to share with you guys also while we're eating is the difference as we share our meal, because I see that you guys have great culinary skills for using your fork and knives. But there's 2 ways of eating. There's continental and there's American style eating. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit? Okay.
Don't really know the difference between.
The difference is so easy. It's so much fun. One, if you're eating European style or continental style, we call it the zigzag method. And it goes like this. They zigzag. So if I'm holding my fork in my left hand, and I'm using my index finger to hold my knife, and once I eat my food, basically what I normally do is I eat from here, I cut from here, and I go straight from the mouth. If you're eating American style, which is the zigzag way, to make sure, what we do is we cut this way. We put our knife serrated edges towards us, and we switch from this hand to this hand to eat. Silent service codes is actually where you let the server know that you're finished. And I love this because it makes a difference. If you're dining, and this is just American dining, where we actually switch back and forth, and you're taking your knife and you're putting it on top of your plate. What you do when you're actually letting your server know that you're not, they don't want to take your plate, because you don't want them to take your plate. So what you do is you set your knife, and you just want to talk, you sit it this way and just kind of wait. That means I'm actually having a conversation with Timothy, and you're just having a conversation. But when I'm finished with my meal and I do want my server to take my plate, then for American time, it's called 10-20. It's almost like a clock. This is my 12, this is a 3, this is a 6, this is a 9. So I do 10-20. Looks like a clock. Can you see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool.
That's cool. So just remember, that lets our server know that we're finished. And that's a silent service code. So it's kind of unheard, but in the industry of dining, it makes huge sense, and they know you're finished. Otherwise, you'll be eating your food and they'll take your plate and you're not sure why. Also too, when you're finished eating your food as well, you also want to use your napkins to let them know that you're finished. And when you are finished, we set our napkins to the left of our plate. We do our napkins this way, and that's a silent service code. I let them know it's done.
Very nice.
Nice, nice, nice. Oh, one other thing too I want to add. What happens if we have a server and we want to help our servers out because you're a gentleman, and you always want to make sure you do that. When the servers come to take your plate, just remember, and I have some tips for you too. It should be on your card, so you can take these with you. If a server is coming to pick your plate up, he's normally going to pick your plate up. You have to kind of lean to the left or lean to the right, and he's going to pick your plate. So remember, they always serve from the left and they pick up from the right. So if the server comes, if he's putting your plate down, you kind of lean this way. And he picks your plate up, you lean that other way. So you just give him an opportunity to take your plate and let you know when you're finished. Because sometimes if they're not sure if you're finished, if your fork and knife is not positioned a certain way, they may ask, "Are you finished?" And we'll let them know, yes, and you just let them know politely. And that's the gentleman way of dining.
And then you leave.
Absolutely. Okay, let's review what we just went over. First, I like to talk about just the first thing with gentleman dining etiquette. Greetings and introduction. I think we used an acronym. Can you remember what that acronym was?
Smile.
Smile, absolutely. And smile means, can you remember what it means?
Stand,
Make
eye contact, introduce yourself, lend a little bit of information,
and extend a hand.
Absolutely. Good job. Excellent job. And excellent job for you too.
Thank you.
That's smile. Just remember, anytime you meet someone, you definitely want to just smile, and that's universal. It's a universal language for us. So just remember that. Also too, we talked about different types of dining styles. We talked about continental dining and American dining. Excellent, Chef Timothy. And just one of the, I guess, key points to that is using service codes and how to use your fork. We said that if you're using European or continental dining, remember we're not going to zigzag. Actually, we're actually going to keep our fork in our left and our knife in our right, and we're going to cut this way and we're going to eat this way. And you said, Chef Zach, this is the easiest way to do it, so you're going to go with that. And I think you, Chef Timothy, said you liked American dining better, right? American dining, we call that the zigzag method, and pretty much it's exactly what it says. We cut, we put our knife at the top with our serrated edges, the top of the plate facing you, and then switch over and eat. So that's what we call the zigzag method. We also talked about silent service codes when we're finished dining. If we're just talking, just like now having a conversation, we can kind of leave our knife and fork kind of open and let them know we're still eating. When we're finished eating, we talked about letting the servers know that we are finished and they can take our plates. How do we do that? You remember?
10:20.
10:20, absolutely. Just like a clock. The top of the clock is 12, bottom is 6, 3, and 9. So what? We take our forks, put them parallel to each other, and 10:20 at the top. 10:20 right there. Turn it this way. 10. Let's see. 10. There we go. 10:20, and you're done. And what happens now is next, the last thing that happens, we want to be gentlemen, and we want to make sure our servers takes our plate, because they serve over your left shoulder and they pick over the right. So when they come and pick our plates up, we're going to do this, and they're going to pick them up. But, oh, and the last thing is the biggest thing. As gentlemen, we have to tip, right?
Absolutely.
So how much do we tip?
20%.
20%, absolutely. Do we still tip if the service is not good? Why?
Because it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do.
Proper etiquette.
And it's proper etiquette. Absolutely. And that's our dining etiquette for gentlemen for today. Thank you so much.